You think it's easy coming up with something witty to say before these videos? It's not. It's really not. Go. Like, share, subscribe, or not. But I wish you would, because it makes things easier. Just gets things moving along. Go. Our children are under some strange impression that they wish they could have grew up in the 90s. And there's a lot to blame for this. First, I want to blame us uncles who tell glory stories with each other about the early days, and then we tell the horror stories, right? Because we've told our children all the violence that occurred in the 90s. Fighting on the way to school, fighting at school, fighting downtown when you're going shopping, fighting on the way home from school, fighting cutting school, going to another school and fight. There was a lot of violence in the 90s that I don't think our children are very privy to. They ignore that part. And also, with the rise of retro fashion, all they see in their minds are big dookie braids, door knocker earrings, big four-finger rings, flare pants, and living single. What are we talking about? Like, these kids are crazy. Do they not understand the peril that ensued? Like, our parents had anxiety and PTSD. They did not know where we were for a bunch of hours at a time. Can you imagine sending your kid outside into the violent jungle where anything can happen? All they have is a beeper. And that means they have to get to a phone so that they can then let you know, yes, I'm still alive. I didn't die in the jungle. Movies romanticize the 90s a lot too. They don't talk about the orange box cutter, but women used to wild out on each other in the 90s. I seen women pull razors on each other in public in the 90s. It wasn't all sweet. It wasn't all chicks doing the running man dance routines, high top fades, and getting hot dogs at papayas. Although all those things were included, that's not what all these kids. I love our children though, because they don't want our traumas. As much as we tell them about the things that we went through, they don't care about those things. They want the aesthetic. They like the fashion. They like the music. They like the language. They like the slang. They like the confidence, because that's really what it is. If you grew up in the 90s, especially in some sort of urban metropolitan area, you had to have a certain level of confidence just to navigate. It was literally a dog eat dog world. It was so much like the food chain that if you didn't go into it with confidence, you weren't going to get anything you wanted. That's not manufactured confidence. That's real confidence that you need. The confidence that they see people have today is always based on what they have, not who they are. And so when they hear us tell our stories and they look at us, they go, wait, you're just like this person that I know. You're not the story, like, but I am the story. I was the story. I don't ever want to be the story again. When I see them get enthusiastic about our stuff, it makes me laugh, especially because that lets us know, and that lets me know specifically that we've handled that information correctly. If they're aware of the dangers and go, yeah, I don't care about that because that's not going to happen to us these days. We have to worry about this, that, and the third. Fentanyl on doorknobs. We got to worry about human trafficking. We got to worry about internet bullying and all that other stuff. Like, our life is a 24-hour assault on our psyche. So we don't care about your trauma. Tell us about the running man. But I get it though. We shouldn't want our kids to wear that. We raised them in better environments so they wouldn't have to wear it. Why would we want to give it to them now? Go. Let me start by saying, when I was younger, there isn't an Adam Sandler movie that I didn't watch. Watched all the Happy Gilmores, watched all the Billy Madisons. Waterboy and Big Daddy are two of my favorites of his. I can watch those on a random Sunday, eating a bowl of chili, especially because it's cold outside. Let me start by saying that there isn't an Adam Sandler movie that I haven't enjoyed in my life. Even when he entered into the dramatic space, I appreciated a lot of that because it showed he had range, because a lot of people felt like he didn't. Adam Sandler got wealthy off of playing the everyman. If you've ever seen him in New York, he walks around looking like you want to give him change and take him to a soup kitchen because he dresses like a homeless man. Him and J. Cole playing basketball in Tribeca is wild to me. They don't get bothered because they look homeless. I don't know if J. Cole is Black Adam Sandler, but I don't want to detract from my point. Why is it that Adam Sandler can make his fortune off of being the everyman, but we don't have that in the Black and brown culture? We don't have that movie star that plays the everyman that starts off as the mechanic, somehow gets the hot girl, crescendo, conflict, third act. How come I've never seen that? It's almost like it's unacceptable in our own culture to be like, no, ain't nobody trying to walk around looking like no Adam Sandler. Every time I see Adam Sandler, he looks like he has no money. Every time I see random Black people that I see every day, I know they have no money, but they look like they have money. I don't understand. I do, but I don't. Culturally, why we think it's better to look like we have money than to actually have it. It's because we want to look like an investment and we're always trying to prove our worth to people through what we gain, right? Adam Sandler is a Jewish man. I don't know if he has the same traumas growing up as a Jewish writer, actor, comedian as somebody who came up in a Black and brown community. I'm not certain. I don't know his struggle. All I know is that he's made his fortune off of looking poor and making movies about not being rich. And it seems to work for him. He strikes gold every time. He can't miss. Happy Gilmore 2 was a hot piece of garbage, but it was a hot piece of nostalgic garbage that all of us older folks enjoyed because we remembered the first Happy Gilmore. It's literally beyond me why our pride, ego, all that stuff gets in the way of us making real cinema, like about our actual lives, not about our fictional fantasy lives where all of us, when we get in a jam, can just go find a person and sell a key of cocaine. It's ridiculous, the farce that we sell our children, we sell ourselves. Like we let our media dictate how we behave, whereas white lives are actually reflected in media. And then the story is painted around that. Our everyday lives aren't reflected like that in my mind. I may know a person I could get a key of cocaine from. It probably won't be very good cocaine. It won't be the kind that'll lock the block down. But the fact of the matter is, I still wouldn't write a movie with that involved. Yes, Breaking Bad was white crime, but it was one of those situations where this man had cancer. Where am I going to get the money? Oh, I just make some drugs. It was so far-fetched and unbelievable that it was like, I gotta watch this. Sons of Anarchy is really about biker clubs. It happens. But that's not all of their cinema and media. What started out as, why is it that Adam Sandler can play a schlub because he's a schlub in real life? But if you catch any Black person being a schlub, you look at them like, man, he's doing horrible. Why would I ever want to help him out with anything? I'm never going to get my money back. Again, I understand it's conditioning. I know all the socioeconomic things and psychosocial things that go into it. I still want to know, why can't we Adam Sandler? Comments. Go. This whole Jay-Z GQ interview thing kind of led me to a broader topic. I remember during COVID when Will Smith was hiking to the top of Mount Everest and then tight roping from the top of Mount Everest to whatever the next highest point was. And he had all these motivational quotes, and everybody's like, oh man, Will Smith is this, that, and the third. And I sat home going, that wasn't profound. And then it led me to the mindset of people are conditioned to worship. And if you don't worship God, you'll worship an idol. For many, celebrities are idols. For many, they can't wait for their favorite celebrity to say something so they can start to shape their lives based off of what this idol told them to say, do, and be. But when I really sat back and thought about the position that Jay-Z has been in for the last 25 years or so, we as a culture have allowed him to tell us what to do. Remember when we stopped wearing jerseys because Jay-Z said it was whack? And then remember when he told all the rappers to stop putting money phones to their ears? And then all of a sudden, slowly but surely, rappers stopped putting money phones to their ears. Then he started talking about financial literacy and generational wealth. And now people can't get the words generational wealth out of their mouths. And they don't even know how to begin to build generational wealth, not even understanding that generational wealth starts with the word generation. And it can't start with you because you are not of the mindset of how to manage generational wealth. At best, you can attain knowledge or you can attain a thing that will then appreciate in value, and you can teach your children how to be smart with that, and that can become generational wealth. But as far as you amassing wealth here to then pass it on, it's a 1 in a million shot. We're all willing to take that 1 in a million shot, don't get me wrong, but it began with the narrative that Jay-Z began by telling all of y'all that y'all don't know how to use money, y'all are whack and stupid. But when he was young, he was whack and stupid. He didn't give credence to the fact that when he was young, he was whack and stupid. He only told y'all that what y'all doing is whack and stupid. It didn't come with a mentor message. And that's where we need to take a step back and start giving our own messages to our own people, our own audiences, whether you know it or not. No matter how large or small, you have an audience. Jay-Z said that he feels like the battle element of hip hop ruins it, having had one of the biggest battles in hip hop. Nobody was jacking that, and I'm glad we weren't. I'm glad we're all adults enough to know that we don't have to listen to Jay-Z. And for a long time, as a culture, we did. Just because he comes out and speaks every 20 years, he's like the mythical creature. We're old now. We've seen the idea of the mythical creature. We've seen the mythos die. When you become a full-fledged adult, there's nothing about you that wants to believe a fairy tale anymore. And a lot of what Jay-Z says is based on positioning, where he's placed himself, who he sat himself next to, who he's distanced himself from. All of those things we've seen, right? But we've not done them. We still have people in our lives who continue to energy suck from us. We've not got that from Jay-Z. See, it's one of those things where you just selectively grab the things that appeal to you. But if you grab the whole blueprint, you might get results. A lot of us don't have the resources to do what Jay-Z is telling us to do. A lot of us don't have the emotional intelligence to do what Jay-Z is telling us to do. A lot of us, because I don't know if any of you realize this, after a certain age, your brain resists change to the point where analysis paralysis will become the only way you think every time you try to change from the norm. You will analysis paralysis your way back into the behavior you were trying to escape. That was a little mindset nugget. Maybe you didn't know that. The end all be all of what I'm saying is we have to stop celebrity worship. He understands what Michael Jackson understood. He understands what the celebrities of the 80s understood. Less access makes you more alluring. The more alluring you are, the more things you can sell with whatever you're trying to sell, on top of your image being the spokesperson for whatever you're trying to sell. We understand that. But with all of those things combined, we still don't have to be beholden to the fact that Jay-Z says some stuff just because Jay-Z doesn't speak publicly very often. If he really wanted to do us a favor, he would have sat down with someone who would have asked him real questions. But nobody in media right now is willing to ask Jay-Z real questions. So an interview is nearly pointless when you think about it from that mindset. Nobody in mainstream media is going to ask Jay-Z real questions. He basically interviewed himself. He moderated the Jay-Z self-interview. I'm glad none of us ate that up. I'm glad we're all adult now, and I'm glad we're past celebrity worship in certain spaces. We can still give it up in other spaces. I'm talking to you, Beehive. Talking to you. Go. Like, share, subscribe, like I told y'all in the beginning, but only like do it for real this time, because I don't think you did it when I told you before, so do it now. Go.